by phone this morning, and one of y'all, if you hear them saying something, turn their mic on so everybody can hear them. So we do have a quorum and ready to proceed with business. We have the copy of the minutes before us from our last meeting. They're in your package. You've had time to read them. We need a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Have a motion to approve. Second, Squire Crutcher. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Why don't you turn their mics on?
Oh, sorry. Please. That's it, I can turn it on.
Okay. All right, that was unanimous vote, I think, Madam Clerk. Madam Clerk?
Treasurer's report, Ms. Tanya Robinson.
Okay.
On your financial cover sheet for August 31st, 2020, receipts are $6,444,343.97. Disbursements are $2,041,454.81. Ending cash balance, $4,402,889.16.
That's your financial report. Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Madam Treasurer?
Your total August encumbrances for general fund was $148,453.94. Road fund was $126,665.35. Jail fund was $27,127.97. 911 was $46,162.98. You'll also notice an additional sheet in your packet. General fund had additional $54,872.
Any questions on that? Need a motion then, please, sir.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second to approve that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Madam Treasurer?
That concludes my report.
Thank you, ma'am. Madam Clerk?
New business, final settlement, sheriff's office.
Okay, you gonna report for Nikki?
No, sir.
Okay. You got it in your package to approve the report. This is regarding the departure of former Sheriff Steger. And then when Nikki came over, anytime we've got change in the treasurer's office, we have to have an audit done in tax settlement. The audit will follow later, but this is an approval of the tax settlement. Need a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Madam Clerk?
Special district tax rate presentations.
Okay. We've got the different taxing entities in the county have to report annually so that we can get the rates approved by the court so that the PVA can put all that together to send out the tax bills later on this year. Kim, you here? Okay, you want to come up, if you don't mind, to the microphone?
On August the 25th of this year, the Calloway County Board of Health voted to approve the continuation of the public health tax as follows. 2.8 cents per $100 of the assessed value of all real property, 2.8 cents per $100 of the assessed value of all personal property, and 3.1 cents per $100 of the assessed value of all motor vehicles. The tax rates have been the same since 1987.
Thank you, ma'am. Any questions for Kim?
No.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Yeah. Stephanie, do you have any comment? Okay. Matt Chadwick, for the County Extension Service.
On September the 8th, the County Extension Service District Board had their second reading and a public hearing, and officially raised the real property tax rate to 1.735. The compensating rate for this year was 1.556. That's an increase of approximately $30,000 of income. We do not take real property or personal property or motor vehicle or watercraft. We only have one tax.
Questions for Matt? Okay. Thank you, Matt. Danny Harrison for the Fire Protection District. Good to see you this morning, Danny.
At its regular monthly meeting this past Monday, the Calloway County Fire Protection District Board of Trustees voted unanimously to keep their tax rates for property tax rate the same as they have been this past year at 9 cents per hundred. That would be for real property, intangible personal property, and other optional taxes. On motor vehicle and watercraft, that stayed the same as it's been for years at 6 cents per 100.
Any questions for Danny? Okay, thanks, sir. Is anybody else here representing a taxing district that needs to do these reports? Okay, thank you. Madam Clerk?
Other business, starting with ordinances, public hearing and second reading for franchise agreement.
Okay, in your packet, you have a summary of 2 ordinances which were presented at our last meeting in August for first reading. According to KRS guidelines, these were advertised in the local papers and copies have been on file in this office. Pursuant to the statutory requirements, we will now hold a public hearing regarding the 2 ordinances for passage. If anyone here has something you'd like to comment on, be heard about, if you will, address the court, we're into officially a public hearing segment right now. So if anybody has any comments on either one, just identify which one you're speaking to. So we have the franchise agreement involving the telecommunications system, which basically provides the ordinance for the generation, transmission, distribution, and sale of telecommunication services within the public right-of-ways of Calloway County for a 10-year period. Anybody wish to speak to that? Okay, the second one we're considering is the subdivision regulation. It's amendment to our subdivision regulations to kind of bring them up in the modern age with the technology and things that we have learned over the past and whatnot. Is anyone that'd like to address that? Come right ahead. State your name, you will, for the record. Comments?
Good morning. My name is John Klein. Thank you, everybody, for giving me a chance to speak, and I appreciate all the work you do for us on a weekly basis. I'm really concerned about this proposal. I think, you know, at first sight, the subdivision regulation kind of gets no attention and people's eyes roll up in their head, but there's really some far-reaching implications of this that I think need to be heavily considered. First, I think it'll have a chilling impact on all future development in the county. No prospective property owner of any development can be assured their investment into a scope of work approved by the county will be carried out. I'd like you to lean into that a little bit. This proposal allows the county to abandon their commitment and responsibility to the taxpayer, and I believe, and I'm going to use some harsh words, it's capricious and irresponsible. We have subdivision regulations, and we ask that the county write those regulations and enforce those regulations. And this particular proposal says, well, we can if we want to, but we also cannot. And I don't think that's what we're looking for in leadership of the county. We need, when someone invests in a development and it's been approved by the county, it should be carried out to its fullest. Secondly, I think there's an attempt to backdate this, and I think we know all what that's all about. I'm Vice President of Western Shores Property Owners Association. We have 580 homeowners that are currently in a dispute with Kentucky Land Partners and the county. In a nutshell, and I don't want to go into the details of the case, but in a nutshell, Judge Elkins returned all the financial performance assurances and bonds to Kentucky Land Partners, allowed them to leave the state with the project uncompleted, and now we have 15 miles of roads which are in unacceptable condition to be accepted by the county. Now, it was his duty to make sure that adequate financial protection was available to complete that project, and now this particular proposal not only says in the future we can decide to abandon that, but also it tries and attempts to go retroactive, which I really seriously doubt the legality of that. So we need, somebody who's investing a lot of money into this community needs some assurances that the project's going to go forward. You have a lot of regulations and you go through a detailed process of managing project approval, but this particular language says that it doesn't have to happen that way. And right now, Kentucky Land Partners drained all the money out of their company. They left town. They claim they have no money to pay, and we have no bonds to ensure that that work gets done. And unfortunately, now it's going to come down to a dispute. If that continues, it's going to come to a dispute with Western Shores and the county, and that's the last thing in the world we want to happen. It shouldn't have to have been that way, and I think this proposal is going to allow more of that to happen, and I'd strongly urge you not to adopt this particular proposal.
Thanks, sir. Anyone else care to respond to either that one or the telecom? The subdivision things we've had, there's several issues on both sides of it. We've had subdivisions that were supposed to have detention and retention ponds over the years. The developer wound up filling those in. We've had drainage problems caused by that. So this is a overhaul, I guess, trying to get us back up to a current standard. I appreciate the remarks about that. I'm not an attorney and obviously not well versed in where all of that is, but at any rate, it's just an attempt to try to upgrade our standards. And as in the case where people have filled in and built on retention ponds, yes, I agree with you. The county should have also done a much better job with not regulating it, but watching over it and all. We do have a county surveyor, and I'm not sure exactly who would be in charge of all these things, but it certainly comes under the bailiwick of this office to try to take care of our residents, as you have said, and people who have invested money. Anyone else? Okay, I would entertain a motion on the franchise agreement. We'll be out of the public thing if there are no further comments. I would entertain a motion to adopt the second reading of the franchise agreement regarding telecommunications.
So moved.
Motion?
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Don, did you vote?
Yes, Judge, voted aye.
Okay. Thanks, sir. Motion carries. Second one we'll take a second vote on is the subdivision regulation, Article 1, Section 6.2. Is there a motion to approve the amendment?
So moved.
Motion. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Madam Clerk?
Resolutions.
We have, in your package, you should have 5. I think the general list said 4. I found out about one we need to do late last night, but I'll call it up last and explain it. Madam Clerk, if you will, read the resolution regarding the establishment of a 911 Appeals Board.
In regards to the matter of establishing a Callaway County Board of 911 Fee Appeals and setting forth duties and responsibilities therefor. Whereas Ordinance 19-1016-A was passed by the Fiscal Court of Callaway County to establish a 911 fee for establishment, maintenance, and operation of the Callaway County Dispatch Center as an essential public safety service used by residents of Callaway County as well as workers and travelers while situated in the county. Whereas Ordinance 19-1016-A granted joint authority to the Callaway County Property Valuation Administrator and the Callaway County Sheriff to resolve any issues regarding determination of fees under this ordinance. However, if a resolution cannot be reached, the ordinance provided that appeals board would consider the resolve any grievances. Whereas Ordinance 19-1016-A states that the fiscal court shall appoint an appeals board for this purpose. Now therefore be it resolved by the Fiscal Court of Callaway County, Kentucky as follows. 1. Establishment. Fiscal Court hereby establishes the Callaway County Board of 911 Fee Appeals. 2. Membership. The commission shall be composed of 3 members to be appointed by the Judge Executive of Callaway County by executive order. 4. Vacancies. Vacancies shall be filled in the same manner that appointments are made. 4. Term of office. The commissioner shall be appointed for terms of 3 years beginning on July 1 of the appointment year, provided, however, the initial appointment shall be as follows. Is appointed to serve a 2-year term beginning on September 16, 2020 and ending on June 30, 2022. Is appointed to serve a 3-year term beginning on September 16, 2020 and ending on June 30, 2023. Is appointed to serve a 4-year term beginning on September 16, 2020 and ending on June 3, 2024. These appointments are meant to stagger the terms of commissioners so that only one commissioner will be replaced each year. Commissioners may be reappointed in the discretion of the Callaway County Judge Executive. 5. Meetings and hearings. The commission shall meet as needed. A hearing shall be scheduled within 90 days after a written notice of appeal is filed with the office of the Callaway County Judge Executive. And 6. Appeal applications. Only after previously seeking resolution from the Callaway County Sheriff and/or the Callaway County Property Valuation Administrator, any property owner desiring an appeal of their 911 fee obligation shall deliver a written notice to the appeal to the office of the Callaway County Judge Executive on the form provided. This appeal form will include at least a specific identification of the property on which the fee is based, 2. A detailed basis for the appeal, 3. The desired classification of the parcel, and 4. Any supporting facts, including pictures or other evidence, when possible, for the 911 Fee Appeals Board to consider in making its determination. The appeal form must be filed no later than December 31st of the year in which the tax bill for the property was sent out. The property owner shall bear the burden of proof in establishing that property has been misclassified or incorrectly assessed by the clear and convincing evidence. The board will consider the evidence presented by the property owner along with any public records of the Property Valuation Administrator, aerial maps, site photographs, building plans and permits, surveys, plats, deeds, official documents, advertisements, site visits, or any other evidence which may aid in the determination of the classification or other assessment of the parcel. Reclassification or reassessment of any parcel pursuant to an appeal under this section shall be done by a majority vote of the members present, and notice of such determination shall be transmitted in writing to both the Callaway County Sheriff and the Callaway County Property Valuation Administrator. Approved, resolved, adopted, and executed on the 16th day of September.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Would you like a glass of water?
Good, thank you.
Any questions on what we're doing? the appeals board for the 911. If you think you've been wrongly assessed the fee, you can go to sheriff, can go to the PVA, and if they don't give you the relief you need, this provides a 3-person board to be set up to handle those things. Any questions? If not, I'd need a motion to approve the resolution.
So moved. Second.
Motion second.
Judge, point of
I'm
order.
sorry.
Point of order real quick, that I believe the resolution, unless the blanks have been filled out, still have blanks for the initial appointments. So it might be more appropriate to make a motion to approve the resolution, subject to allowing the judge executive to make appointments in those spots.
Is that all
If
right?
that's the will of the
That's
board.
what you said, wasn't it, Squire Crusher?
Yes.
Okay, I should have done that. I'm asking for a motion to approve the resolution with blanks as is, to allow the judge to appoint members by executive order. So that is the motion. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Judge, hold on, you may have just lost one.
Yep. It's a Don, I think.
More important.
Okay, hold on. All right, he's back.
Okay. Did he vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Madam Clerk, would you pull the resolution on the discontinuance of Sioux Road as a county road?
Resolution, whereas on or about the 26th day of August 2020, John Amberg, who currently owns property at 558 Radio Road, contacted the Judge Executive Office to request Sioux Lane be discontinued as a county road. Whereas according to KRS 178.116, any county road formerly maintained by the county or state shall be deemed discontinued and possession shall revert to the owner or owners of the tract of land to which it originally belonged, unless one of the following conditions exist. A public need is served by the road. B, the road provides a necessary access for private person. C, the road has been maintained and policed by the county or state within a 3-year period. Whereas in the case of Sioux Lane, a public need is not served by the road, only a private residence and A&L Body Shop owned by John Amberg are located on the road. Whereas an adjacent property owners with access have signed a joint petition requesting the discontinuance of Sioux Lane. Whereas after contacting the county road department, it was determined that Sioux Lane has not been maintained by the county or state within the past 3 years. Whereas the county sees no reason why this request should not be granted and the road be designated as a private drive in the county. Now therefore be it resolved that Calloway County Fiscal Court do hereby support and request the discontinuance of Sioux Lane as a county road upon the request and petition submitted September 11, 2020. Approved, resolved, adopted, and executed on this 16th day of September.
Obviously, this is a county road. Currently, we're turning it into a private road. The 911 will still be a road, but it will be I forgot the designation, it'll be a P, something other number. It'll still be on the 911 maps, but that will continue our responsibility to in any way maintain the road in the future. So with that, I'd need a motion to approve the resolution.
So moved.
Motion,
Second.
second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Madam Clerk, could you read the resolution recognizing Dana Sheridan?
Yes, sir. In regards to the matter of recognizing Corporal Dana Sheridan, whereas Corporal Dana Sheridan will be retiring from Calloway County Sheriff's Office in August of 2020 with over 27 years of service to Calloway County. Whereas Corporal Sheridan began her career at the Sheriff's Office in 1993 and has served under 4 different elected county sheriffs. Whereas Corporal Sheridan's was responsible for all phases of accounting and administration for the sheriff's office during her tenure as bookkeeper and office manager, along with serving as a functioning deputy sheriff. Whereas in 2012, she was named Deputy of the Year and received a citation from the House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Whereas Corporal Sheridan always strived to make the best decision possible for the sheriff's office and was a loyal and positive employee for her entire career. She was the backbone of the sheriff's office. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Fiscal Court of Calloway County, Kentucky as follows. The Fiscal Court of Calloway County, Kentucky does hereby recognize Corporal Dana Sheridan for her outstanding and historic years of service to this court and the citizens of Calloway County. While no one is irreplaceable, her dedication to duty, leadership, and commitment will certainly be sorely missed. Approved, resolved, adopted, and executed on this 16th day of September.
I would ask for a motion to adopt the resolution.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Dana, would you join me up here? I also have another presentation for you. This is a certificate also in honor of Dana. She is hereby recognized as a honorary squire in our court system. Doesn't necessarily give you voting rights. Privilege that we try to recognize people that give them so much to our community. And certainly Dana has. If you know her at all, you know that she's been one of the most committed workers at the sheriff's office and public servants that this county has ever seen. And you stop and think about an entire career in one place, working for how many different sheriffs? 4 different sheriffs is pretty outstanding. So congratulations. Okay, Madam Clerk, if you would read the resolution regarding the IDA to receive the TVA in lieu of tax funds.
Yes, sir. Authorizing resolution. Adoption of a resolution of the Calloway County Fiscal Court authorizing the filing of a Regional Development Agency Assistance Program proposal grant application for up to $153,846.15 in funds with the Department of Local Government and authorizing the Murray-Calloway Industrial Development Authority to act as the authorized correspondents for this project. Whereas Calloway County desires to promote and carry out economic development efforts on behalf of the residents of Calloway County, and whereas it is recognized that Regional Development Agency Assistance Program funds are available to the county, pursuant to KRS Chapter 96 and 2018 Kentucky General Assembly House Bill 200, impose certain obligations and responsibilities upon the county and will require: 1, the designation of an industrial development authority established under KRS 154.50-301 to KRS 154.50-346, and 2, approval of satisfactory application to be transmitted to DLG for approval. Now, therefore, be it resolved this day of September 2020 by the Calloway County Fiscal Court that RDAAP project proposal application on behalf of the county for RDAAP monies up to $153,846.15 for Murray West Spec Building Number 1 project shall be submitted to DLG. The county shall provide such additional information and furnish such documentation as may be required, and the designated IDA shall act as the authorized correspondent for this project. Done this day of September 2020.
Further brief explanation, in lieu of property tax, the TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority, pays an in lieu of tax fee to the counties. This has always, as far as I know, been transferred to the economic development because that's what the TVA grant is specifically for. The IDA is the property owner of the EDC, the Economic Development Corporation of Murray, and these funds are used to retire the debt on the spec building that we currently have. Year before last, I think it was 50-something thousand. Last year it was 104 maybe. And this year the request is for 152, which that will be the cap until the General Assembly and TVA. Everybody agrees differently. The resolution and grant application have been prepared. They're in your packets, and I just need your authority to go ahead and sign those by way of passing the resolution. Any questions on that?
So moved.
Okay. Motion second. This is for the designation to the IDA to receive the in lieu of tax funds that the county receives from TVA. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, the other resolution which the masters have, but I'll briefly explain it. About 6 months ago, we filed an application. Part of the state road statutes provide that there's created what they call a flex fund, capital F-L-E-X, all caps. That is a portion of the state's gasoline tax revenue money goes to each state. It's got a pretty exhaustive formula, kind of like the road aid fund, but this is a separate fund. I did receive the go-ahead from the Department of Transportation to do those funds that sign the resolution and the contract with Kentucky DOT. Basically, we get some roads paved. We have to pay for it in advance, and we turn around and submit that bill to the state. They will reimburse us up to $271,909. Okay. $271,000, which you understand researching a road is about $70,000 now, so you can figure that out, but that will certainly help our road program. I talked to Richard this morning. He's going out we're kind of getting late in season to blacktop, but assuming the roads are ready, we'll get with the 3 approved contractors that we have that can lay asphalt and see if they can do it in a timely manner before the nights start getting cooler and the blacktop wouldn't here. So that's a brief explanation of it. If there's questions, I'll try to explain for you. This was a list submitted, again, about 6 months ago based on the magistrate's input, and it's pretty well divided up into districts. So I need a motion to authorize me to sign it, as well as each of you all will sign it as a contract with the state.
So moved. Second.
Motion second to approve the flex funding contract with Kentucky Department of Transportation. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Madam Clerk? Make the board appointments. She's appointing that board. Yeah, okay. There's an executive order in your package regarding the Tourism Commission, which was authorized earlier, and I'll ask Madam Clerk to read the executive order. When finished, she can also read the names that we will be appointing to that board at this time. We have, Gina has contacted all of them, all have agreed to serve, and it kind of sets up the mechanism for all that. Let her read it, and if you got questions, Gina can answer them.
Executive order, in the matter of appointment of Calloway County Tourism Commission, whereas KRS 91A.360 authorizes the county judge executive to appoint of 7 members in a manner consistent with ordinance number 20-0617-B, established on June 17, 2020 by the Calloway County Fiscal Court. Whereas the membership shall consist of 3 commissioners representing the hotel industry, 1 commissioner representing the restaurant industry, 1 commissioner appointed from a list submitted by the Chamber of Commerce, and 2 commissioners at large from the community. Whereas the membership shall serve a term of 3 years, with the initial appointments to be staggered as set forth in KRS 918.350, and whereas the commissioners shall select from its membership a chairman and a treasurer to oversee the budget and revenue generated from the 3% tax on the rent of every occupancy of a suite, room, or rooms, with the collection to begin on January 1, 2021. It is hereby ordered that the following individuals be appointed to the Callaway County Tourism Commission for the terms listed: Dennis Helmuth, Hotel; Lauren Kelly, Hotel; Tracy Markham, Hotel; Adam Carver, Restaurant; Mark McLemore, Chamber; Sean Dunaway, at-large; and Paul Reister, at-large.
Okay, I don't think that requires any action because, is that correct? We don't need any official actions, just to advise the court of who those members are. And once that's set up and we begin collecting the fees, then they'll decide how to, that is, the audience to understand the court doesn't have direct jurisdiction. Now, once the Tourism Commission is set up, the Tourism Commission will appropriate those funds in a way and manner after advising the court of what they will do. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Board appointments? That's what you just did?
I think that's the only one we had.
Very good.
Okay.
DES property donation.
Okay. As you know, Bill Call and several have been working to finally get the old DES properties taken care of finally. So Bill, if you want to come up and kind of tell us what's going on with that, the progress you've made and where we are today.
Folks, the property that was left within the building, at the old DES Rescue Squad building, which consists of some vehicles, boats, various, has been offered to the county agencies that provide that type of service and other public service. And then the DES Rescue Board of, current Board of Directors met and resolved any differences and has then issued that equipment to these agencies. So Callaway County Sheriff's Office, Callaway County Coroner's Office, the Office of Emergency Management, the Road Department, and Fiscal Court have all received some of those items that were left in the old building. The building is mostly cleared out now, and also by resolution at our last meeting, we voted to donate the building and grounds to the fiscal court. So as soon as the paperwork is completed with that, you will have possession of the buildings and grounds to do with as you wish. We think another month or two to let all the legal questions that might remain get settled, then we'll proceed with final dissolution of the DES Rescue Squad as a corporation, and that will be concluded.
Bill, I've got the deed as far for the real property. I've got it today. If you,
Good.
if y'all ready to.
We can take care of that. There were no encumbrances that I could see on the deed itself.
Okay, so basically, all the, I hate to use the word stuff, but everything that has been, all the county people, agencies have gotten what they could use for their respective departments. So all of those items are, basically you're donating those to the county.
What's left in the building would be county property. So
Okay.
turned over with the building. Yes.
Okay. But it's really two separate items. It's, for lack of a better word, personal property or
That's right.
tangible properties and all like that, as opposed to real estate. Secondly, if I understand it correctly, with signing of the deed, the property will be turned over to the county for its use, disposal, or
That's correct.
whatever. Okay. Is everybody clear on that? Do we need a motion to accept?
Judge, I think, I think as we don't currently have a set process for receiving real property, probably would be advisable to have the court vote to give you the authority, if they so choose, to accept that property.
Okay. Real and
Yeah,
all of it.
I think it'd be fair to do it together.
You understand that it's a motion to accept the property being donated to the county, both real and personal.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
Crutcher. Hale. Don, are you and Paul with us on all this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We have a motion and a second then that the county does accept both the real and the personal property. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Did Paul say something besides vote?
No, he said aye.
Okay. Motion carries.
Hey, Judge?
Yes,
Could I
sir.
say something about that?
Sure.
Thank you and Bill and anyone that had anything to do with this to get this come to where it's at. And I know it's been a long process. So thank you all for working on that.
This has been a process going on probably 8 or 9 years at least, and I want to express my personal appreciation to Ronnie Burkeen for helping us get work through all of this and making the transition as smooth as it has been. So with that motion, it's county property, and I would entertain a motion then at this time to declare both the personal and the real property surplus. And my thinking in doing that is see what's there and maybe either get an auctioneer or we could do it ourselves to look and see what's there, decide if it needs to sell as one lump sum or it needs to be divided out and auctioned off. You know, the personal property parts of it. And then secondly, I would ask for authorization to maybe at this time just to get an appraiser to get an appraised value on the property should the county deem it is even surplus to us that where we could sell it. But I think the first step in that would to get some kind of an appraisal on that. We won't take any action on that obviously until the court reconvenes, but that would seem like the prudent thing to do. So I'll make a motion then that we declare it all surplus property and get an appraiser on the real property and advise you all of what to do about the other and as soon as possible, and then take steps to do that. I mean, we'll put it in the paper and notify everybody in proper procedures. So I made that in form of motion. Or second to it.
Second.
Okay. Motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries. You said it's, Bill, thank you so very much. I don't know if people really realize all the work that has gone into making this happen. Again, it's been going on 8 or 9 years now, and we're getting down to the end of it. But Bill has put in untold hours and getting all this together, getting it properly distributed, getting the people that had personal property, you know, verifying they had a claim to it and getting all this kind of straightened up and cleaned out. So Bill, thank you. Madam Clerk, next. Yes, well, I didn't know if she needed to call it up or not. Okay. We have the contract with E-Tel has been renewed. That's our local phone service here in the office and some of the county agencies. We've renewed that with a good rate, thanks to Lisa. She's a heck of a negotiator. For 2 years, and we are under the assumption that the new contract, that the bill should be the same monthly billing for the regular service, and that we will now have totally free long distance. So that's just an advisory to the court. Lisa, thank you for the time and effort you put in on that. committee reports. The Administrative Code Committee, don't think met this month. We had a jumbled up, I think they were supposed to meet Monday and got all that. I don't know of any substantive changes there. The Transportation Committee, the rejuvenated Transportation Committee met last week. This kind of set the new priorities for the Transportation Committee to make recommendations to the court and the road department on how we are viewing our county road systems, the work to be done on them, the priority. So there's not really a report. That meeting was changed for those of you that might want to attend to the first Monday of every month at 3:30. That was the most convenient time for the committee members. Typically, they will meet here on the first Monday of each month at 3:30. Okay, I think that winds that part up. Official and staff reports. Squire Hale, you got anything to officially report or talk about?
No, sir, thank you.
Okay. Squire Crutcher?
No, Judge, thank you.
Squire Cherry?
I'm good, thank you, Judge.
Okay. Squire Roster?
I'm quarantining at home, feeling fine, but sorry for the inconvenience I've caused.
Well, we hope you get all your test results back and everything will be good, and I think. Counselor, you got anything to bring before the court?
I do not.
Okay, Ms. Tanya, anything else? Antonia, you got, speak to the state audit?
The Calloway County Clerk's 2019 audit is on record at the clerk's office. Everything went well, nothing to stand out. A couple other things. The grace period that was set forth during the COVID executive orders from the governor's office, October 6th, the grace period for renewals is done. So you can go online, you can call in, you can come by, and we can get those fixed up before October 6th. Election, appreciate the use of this building. Sorry to put anybody out of changing meetings and that sort of thing. You can vote in person on Election Day, November 3rd, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., CFSB Center, North Elementary, East Elementary, Southwest Elementaries. Anybody can vote at any of those spots. If you prefer, we can help you get that ballot in the mail, or a person can go online to get that ballot. It's govoteky.com. One thing to remember, the last day to register to vote for this election is October 5th, and if you get your ballot, if you want it in the mail, October 9th is the last day to apply for that. So just a couple of things. You can go on our website, the state website, or different social medias and find that too. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, correct me if I'm erring this too. Also, if you applied for an absentee ballot, the drop box, mail it, if that's what you prefer, there will also be a drop box at the courthouse starting on the 13th. Also on the south side, like it was during the primary. And then it's my understanding on Election Day that there will be a drop box at each voting precinct. Is that correct? That's not correct. Scratch that then. I thought there was, I don't know where I heard that. But you've been over the times of voting. If there are any questions, you can call, obviously, the clerk, and they'll get you straightened out. Is there anything else, Madam Clerk?
No, thank you.
All right. Richard, you got anything?
Sure.
Oh, Nikki's here. Okay, Nikki?
No, sir, I don't. We're rolling on, we're good.
Okay. Nathan?
No, sir, I'm good.
Ken?
Yes, sir.
Off quite a bunch this morning. Linda? Is she here? No. Okay. Richard? Well, stand up and wave your hands around so everybody knows you got kind of hired 2 weeks ago, and a lot of people haven't met you. But Richard is our road supervisor at the county barn. He's in his third week, so he's still got a little bit of current learning curve dealing with all of us and all these new things. But Richard, we appreciate your work. Mr. Neal, do you wish to address the court?
On the statute matter or general?
Pardon?
I'm sorry.
You had requested to address the court, if you'd like to.
Yes,
I would again ask you to reserve it to 5 minutes, if you will, please.
I forgot my phone up there, so I'm getting close.
You're good.
Y'all hear me? Good morning, I'm Sherman Neal II. Appreciate you giving me the 5 minutes. I know we're not on the agenda today. I think it's important that we address some of the stuff that's going on with the statute right now. So, since the last time I personally got to address the court in July, I was informed by the county attorney that in order to move forward on the statute matter, we had to, one, have novel evidence or new evidence of change, and then two, have try to broker some type of deal and negotiate with the United Dollars and Confederacy. Where we're at right now with that, with new evidence. So I think it's important to clarify what the objectives of the people that support removal have is. One, it's removal, it's not destruction, it's not violence, and it's not causing harm to any physical or personal property. Two, transparency and accountability. So I think when we talk about that, we're talking about property ownership. And so it's still working out some of the nuances, but since July 17th, when we last talked, Owensboro, Kentucky, and Davis County, as y'all have seen, has clarified ownership of their statute at this point. And so we understand that the court owns the property that the statute sits on and can take action regardless of what the United Dollars and Confederacy say, based on the license or privilege that's been granted to them and revoking that. Now, due to what Owensboro has decided, there's a potential conflict of opinion on property ownership, given the fact that the statute itself was marked as public property using the two Service Act documents. So what we have now is Calloway County looks at a document from the National Park Service in 1997 that says public ownership. Davis County looks at a document that was submitted to the National Park Service in 1997 that says public ownership. Davis County decides to take control of the monument, vote to remove the monument, and appoint a commission that does not necessitate negotiation with the Daughters of the Confederacy in order to remove it within 6 months. Where we're at now is we have chosen not to, and this, I may be wrong, this is why we're having a public comment, but we have not chosen to take ownership of the property as the county, as a public piece of property, which is a conflict of law, which we need resolution on, or not law, but conflict of ownership. And then two, holding a vote on the merits of the morality and why it's there, which is what Davis County has done and what we have not done, which is what Madisonville is going through right now, which we have not entertained, and what I know is adjacent state across the river, Cape Girardeau has done in a similar fashion. So we have several examples of changes that have happened since July. I know there's a lot of movements going past there. And so, we on behalf of an organization of people is moving forward and doing is trying to give notice to the United Dollars and Confederacy as stakeholders, one, in the statute, and then two, in this community, to come forth and have these discussions, and hopefully we can have those facilitated by the county or an appointed board, which doesn't necessarily have to incorporate myself, but give that to the people who admittedly have been here longer than I have, and may have better insight and input, and can come forward and have a solution in the same fashion that, is going on in Owensboro and is going on in adjacent places. And at this point in time, I don't have any reason to believe that the United Dollars and Confederacy is a hostile group or should oppose that. I just know that they're an absentee party that not only since the 107 days since this has gone on, but really the past 3 years, I can't find any record of them engaging engaging in a manner as now is, costing real dollars, real time, and it's not going to be going away anytime soon. I think it's critical that we put them on public notice that we are moving forward regardless of your position. If you would like to assert some type of opinion, it's now or never. And should they choose not to do that, that would indicate that they either A, have abandoned that property, or B, don't find the current situation of the county important enough to come out and try to protect the community in the capacity that they say that they want to, per what's posted publicly on their social media websites and official stances in regards to race relations. That's all I have at this time. If there's any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Neal.
Your Honor, I was,
Sure.
I was quoted, I don't have any questions, but as I was quoted, I'd just like to speak quickly to clear that up. With regard to the speaking qualifications that you mentioned at the outset, what I believe I stated was that I don't make the decision, that the agenda is set by the judge executive, and that he had determined that novel information such that it'd be worthwhile for the court to hear was going to be the standard. I think you said something about maybe me making that determination, but I wanted to make sure you knew that it was that was the court standard to hear from the same person again on the same position. The second thing was with regard to, and this also was at the outset of what you said. I think you said that, or quoted me as saying that the only way forward was going to be with a UDC agreement, and I don't believe I've ever said that the only way forward would be with agreement with the UDC. But I think I was quoting the judge as saying that would be perhaps the best and easiest way forward. And then 3, with regard to, you mentioned the ownership of the statue, that's been a hotly contested issue, both in the street and online. And you and I had a conversation, I believe it was last Thursday, with regard to ownership of the statue. I don't believe the court has ever said, and I feel confident that I've never said that ownership would dictate what would happen with the statue. At least my position to the court, my legal opinion has been that I believe that the UDC does own the statue. Obviously, the court, or Calloway County, still owns the land that it sits on. And so the court has the ability, and I don't believe has ever said otherwise, that it can, if it wishes, it can move the statue. There may be some additional legal complications. There may be some additional costs. In addition to just moving it, there may be some damages to the owner. But that doesn't mean that it's out of the court's power. So I think that at least some online have focused on the wrong issue. The statement that the UDC owns the statue itself does not mean that the court does not have authority, if it so wished, to move the statue. So I'd just like to clear up that common misconception.
So I certainly cannot speak for online comments. I can speak for myself. So one, when it comes to miscoding, that's why I think it's critical that we appoint a commission to look at these hundreds of pieces of paper that span 13 and now, because I certainly am not an expert. You are acting in your capacity as an attorney and doing that and being forthright, which I appreciate. Then you're acting in your capacity as an administrator for the county. And I think we have a variety of minds that can come to a resolution on some of these key issues and give the public information rather than go another 100 days before, I don't want to stuff blame, but go 100 days before people reach their own conclusions and then inevitably get frustrated. So think that's what we're asking for now, from the court, and then specifically, once we establish, so we know that the court has the power, and we know that in the resolution, that was put forth in July, the court, said, should the UDC, want to move the statute, so that seems to conflict with power. We are delegating power to a group that supports, sympathizes with, and upholds the Confederacy. So we are delegating power to a group that supports the Confederacy and allowing a neo-Confederate group to have power over what we put on public land. We should retain that power. We choose as the people to put that on there. That's something that we can discuss in a public forum, and that's fine. There's other ways to address that. That's what we uphold and want to keep. But we certainly cannot delegate that power to a non-stakeholder. And so I think a lot of the questions that that we just addressed today certainly won't be able to fix unless we're staying here all night. I'd rather do that and talk about it another 100 days or so. But we have the minds of the people that can do that. And I know that, and just for the record, I know people have reached out to me. I'm sure that people have reached out to you with fears of violence or conflict or wrong that can go on. We've gone 100 days and nothing bad has happened. We still are an example for how this can work. Nothing's been graffiti. There's been physical injury. I shouldn't classify what is minor or major, but nothing that rises to the level of what's going on in other places. And we still have a window of opportunity to get this done. And there's other counties, there's other places adjacent to us that we could really work in a coalition with when you talk about the Jackson purchase area. If you're talking about McCracken's going through it, you're talking about Davis is going through it, and you're talking about Hopkins is going through it. Why are we different? And how can we help them and show them the way, maybe all collectively come together and do something in a reasonable period of time?
Mr. Neal, thank
Yeah,
you.
I appreciate it.
Judge, can I retort one issue quickly?
Sure.
So, Mr. Neal, you just, and I don't want to get into a debate, I mean, we're not, but you said that the court had delegated through the resolution their authority to the UDC, and as the drafter of the resolution, I don't see a reasonable way to interpret it that way. It does say that the UDC, should they choose to move it, contact the court would assist. It also says at the end, and I thought this was important language, that that the statute would, the will of the court was that the statute would stay for so long as the UDC and the people of Calloway County willed it to be. Meaning that if one of those no longer willed it to be, that at that time perhaps it would not continue to stand. It doesn't mean that if the UDC, I don't think that that is in any way a proper interpretation of that resolution, that if the UDC doesn't want it moved, that it could then never be moved through any force whatsoever. If at some point either, because it was written as and, if the UDC or the people of Callaway County no longer wish for it to stand, then I believe the court expressed its will that at that point, then it would not. So again, I didn't want to get into a debate. I just wanted to make sure that
We're all good.
something wasn't misinterpreted publicly.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Neal. I wish to announce that our next meeting, because they will be voting in this room as they did in the primary, the October 21st meeting of the fiscal court will be held at the barn at White Oaks. That's, I'm going to jot the address down, 675 Grant Road. It's a new kind of event center. They have graciously allowed the court to meet there for the purposes of having our October meeting, no charge to the county. This is all due to the voting going on here, which we strictly encourage. Is any other thing that needs to be brought before the court? If not, we're adjourned. Squire, stay around, I've got some paper signing to do.
Hey, Bill, you want to sign this deed? Yep, yep. So.
Oh, it's going. How are you?
Very top. Yeah, you can have a copy. And I will get it. We'll get it notary. Get it, or you notary? Are you notary? Okay. I bet you are. Hey, would you mind? And Judge, you want to go ahead and sign this deed, and then we'll get Antonio to notarize? This is a deed.